It's the dawn of a new edition, with the pre-orders coming on June 13th and available on the 27th. These will be available 1 week after the edition launch boxes, which was up for pre-order yesterday. If you were looking to get that, I hope you were able to. These pre-orders include the launch of a new rules booklet, which is in a convenient portable size with new referencing. I'm not quite sure what that new referencing means. Maybe just a better index. Covers basic rules and a more complete reference of all common unit and weapon abilities. This should be the same book that was in the Armageddon box, so if you picked up the Armageddon box, you will already have this. However, this one has an Ultramarine instead of a Blood Angel. These are quite small, so presumably it will be much cheaper than the typical rulebook or the 10th edition rulebook was. Then we have the Warhammer 40,000 Combat Patrol Companion, which has a list of tips for combat patrol and some lore, which I guess is where they've put most of the lore that would normally be in the rule book, because if they're selling the rule book like what comes in the Armageddon box, then there really isn't any lore in it, it's just rules. So it should be relatively cheap, I would guess. I'm not entirely sure on pricing. This, I guess, will have all the lore, which is an interesting choice, I think. Then they also have a terrain area set, which I believe are made out of cardboard, card terrain bases, with 5 different shapes for any of the chapter approved mission decks. You can use these for those. If you are located in Korea, this will be delayed. I think the area terrain is interesting. I wonder what it will look like in the actual table. Obviously, it makes knowing if your models are affected by that terrain a little easier, because they just have to be in the footprint. But I do wonder how it will look in the actual game. We'll find out in a few weeks, I guess. There's also the chapter approved mission deck. Also comes in Armageddon, so if you picked up Armageddon, you don't need to pick this up. 88 cards, which has enough for 2 players, plus 6 tokens for marking terrain objectives, and a small rules pamphlet. Then there's the Dominatus Narrative Campaign deck, Armageddon, which I believe also came in the Armageddon box, which would make sense. Theme-based games. Makes it be more similar to the Crusade type rules, so you have your more narrative-based play deck here. Then we have the special edition of Armageddon Season of Fire. This will only be available while stocks last, and will likely sell out. These special edition books generally sell really rapidly. So if you do like to collect those, it would be wise to pre-order it, as there probably won't be any available shortly afterwards. There are also some new Black Library paperbacks. We have Void Scarred, The Remnant Blades, and Tomb World. I have not read any of these, but I have heard good things about Tomb World, if you like the Necrons, but I have not read any of these 3. There's the French edition of Grotznik de Mad Doc, hardback from the 13th of June, and ebook from the 27th of June. Then we have some Warhammer Plus, we have some Lore Masters talking about Commissar Yarrick, then we have some battle reports, and the Mech Boys Workshop, as well as a second episode of the Aeronautica Imperialis animation. And that is everything for this week's preview. Again, if you were interested in Armageddon, I hope you were able to get it. I think there were still some copies available. It looks like they really did try to produce enough of this box. I looked at it a bit closer, thinking, oh, maybe I'll try to pick it up. And I decided not to, which was what I was thinking earlier. It just does not have enough stuff that I'm interested in picking up in the monopose form. The heroes look good. At least I do like the captain and the librarian, both of which should be available in starter sets later in the year if I really want to pick those up. The chaplain looks cool, but I don't really normally play using a chaplain, and I don't think I would pick one just because it has a jump pack. The jump pack troops I really like. I saw these in person the other day, which is why I'm bringing it up. I thought they looked much better in person than they do in the images, even unpainted or unprimed. They look very good in person. The ancient, I just am not interested in. I already own an ancient. I guess this one may have a different armor I think it probably does, but not really for me. The orc stuff all looks great, but I don't need orcs and I don't need more unassembled plastic. Obviously, if you are interested in Armageddon, or were able to pick it up, it is a great deal. So if you are still interested or thinking about it and you really want the Space Marine half or you want the orc half, it is a great deal. If you're an orc player, it's an excellent deal because it's all new things. The Space Marine stuff is all new too, but some of it's new versions of already existing kits. For myself, the Jump Troops, I think I'll wait till they come out with their own kit. The Captain Librarian, I believe, were separate sprues. The Ancient and Chaplain and the Eradicators were all in the same sprue, if I remember correctly. The Eradicators are a strange one to me because they have heavy bolters, but I don't know why you would need them in a Space Marine list where you already have plenty of bolters and plenty of anti-infantry items. I'm not quite sure what benefit they bring otherwise, but I also haven't been following it super closely because I wasn't planning to pick up the box. So there is that. The models look great though, I mean in person. If you are interested and haven't picked it up yet and can find a box, I think there's probably still some available. So let me know your thoughts on this new core rule book. I was thinking they would have a larger version, much more like we got for 10th edition or 9th edition, where you have that big thick hardback book, but I think they're switching to the smaller convenient portable size, where it's just the rules and no lore. So let me know what you think about that in the comments down below, and whether or not you picked up Armageddon. And that's all I've got for this week. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.